Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at this new undisclosed location for a very special reason. We have the all-new, totally redesigned, top to bottom, front to back. This is the 2020 Toyota Highlander. This one is fully loaded to the brim with lots of mid-size SUV goodness. This one is a platinum trim with all-wheel drive. But before we dive into this, let's talk a little bit about Highlander history. Toyota Highlander has been around since 2001, if you could believe that. We are now in the fourth generation of this iconic SUV that really, when Toyota brought it into fruition, it was their fifth vehicle that they were adding to the lineup in 2001. Now, of course, with other SUVs in their lineup, this Highlander is really going to battle in a very fierce war known as the mid-size SUV three-row segment of the auto industry. Very fierce competition coming from Kia, coming from Hyundai, and of course all the other players that have been known to duke it out, especially Ford with the Explorer. One thing is for certain, that with this all-new 2020 Highlander, Toyota is trying to bring a lot of the goodness that got them to this point, but they've also made some changes to try to bring more new owners into the Toyota fold. So let's go ahead, dive into this Highlander, see what makes it different, and see what makes it a true standout in the mid-size SUV segment. Right off the bat, you'll notice the new styling. Now, this platinum trim is featured in a unique color called Lunar Dust. It's not silver, it's not blue. They actually got it from the moon. It's called Lunar Dust, sprinkled all over this platinum trim Highlander. Now, when we come into the front corner here, I do really like what they've done with the headlight housing. They kind of shrunk it down from the previous generation, from 2019. Full LED. Now, this Platinum has full LED, so what that means is you're going to get LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, plus they're adaptive. So those headlights in there actually turn with the steering wheel to give you the best visibility at night. We toggle down, you have your LED fog lamps. Now, there is a little bit of a fake vent, so I'm gonna give it a half a zonk down here. I wish this was an air curtain, but I do like the shape, and I really love the nice muscular line here that kind of just peeks out and then tapers back down. Very nice touch. Now, as we come across the grille, what are we working with? On the platinum trim, you're gonna have that chrome that's gonna surround the Toyota badge. Of course, you're gonna have a front-facing camera. We got gloss black for the grille, and I like the way the grille's all broken up. Gives it a nice identity, and the way that the perimeter is also chrome. We drop down, you have a little bit of horizontal flat black slots, and of course, it seems that required flat silver to give it that off-road SUV look to it, but definitely much more aerodynamic than the previous generation. The previous Highlander looked more like a Bic razor, one of those 5-blade razors at the front. I do like the direction, and I think some of you might see some Subaru Ascent in that, and that kind of makes sense, the way that Subaru and Toyota have been working a little bit more. But as we go up onto the hood, one of my favorite parts of this hood is this center section here. It's got a nice U-shape, real long U-shape indentation, very strong, powerful lines coming off the front fascia, everything going right towards the windshield. And like I said, it's giving it enough depth to where it's going to stand out from the rest of that mid-size SUV crowd. Now, as we come around the bend here, you can see the nice flow, the lines. The flat black on the bottom is going to lead us into flat black all around the fender treatment. And you definitely want to kind of come in and check out this wheel setup. This is the optional 20-inch wheel. Absolutely beautiful. It's like a nice brushed aluminum. You got your Toyota badge in there. And really, I think with this Lunar Dust color, fits it to a T. And just the way it sits, the space between the top of the tire and inside the fender really just looks super, super clean. Now, as we go down the side, of course, you're gonna have color matched mirror caps with a little bit of chrome trim, and your turn signals, nice LED, slimmed, very nice. When it comes to your A-pillars, I think it's so smart on a larger SUV especially to have the blacked out A-pillars. It allows that roof to even appear more flat than what it is. And I think that's the direction where a lot of these larger SUVs are getting a little bit more squared off to really show that style that people really want. Chrome trim just along the bottom, which is a nice touch. Color match on the door handles. And one of my favorite parts is that the lower sill is nice and just rolled and tucked out of the way. As we work our way towards the back, you're gonna have those nice flat silver roof rails. And this one, of course, has the crossbars. Put your kayak, put your mountain bike, whatever you're gonna bring to haul the family. You could also bring some adventure fun to haul on your next trip. Now, as we keep working our way back, I like the way they went gloss black on this section. And if you come on in and take a look at this rear quarter window, I like the shape that they did. It's nice and large to let enough light in, but it's not too obtrusive, and the roof still keeps that general flat line, which is great. Now, when we get to the tail end of the business, you're gonna see, of course, all new taillights. Now you have LED brake lights, nicely done. I love the way they kind of extend past the fender, really gives it a great look. Even this low roof spoiler, very smart to give it some dip to it, give it some style, give it some personality. Because I'm telling you, competition is fierce in this category. We drop down, you're gonna get your Highlander badge, and then your Platinum. This one has the all-wheel drive, flat silver taken from the front and brought to the rear. And if you notice down below, no exposed exhaust. I think that's the best way to go. Keep it clean, don't have any fake exhaust or anything like that. Nice clean look from front to back. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood and see what's powering this 2020 Highlander. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Now, you do have a prop rod, but the good news is the hood isn't too heavy and the prop rod is all the way over to the passenger side. Underneath that hood, what are we working with? We're talking about a naturally aspirated V6. So in the Highlander, you have that 3.5 liter V6, 295 horsepower, 263 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This Platinum fully loaded with the all-wheel drive weighs around 4,450 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 7.1 seconds. And the great news is you could tow up to 5,000 pounds with this SUV. MPGs, 20 in the city, 27 on the highway. What's nice is that looking underneath the hood, the engine is actually very low in the chassis. And that's important because you're gonna get that center of gravity lower. That's gonna actually help with handling and just overall ride quality in this Highlander. But why don't we go ahead, talked about the outside, talked about underneath the hood. Let's see what Toyota is bringing to the table on the inside of this Highlander. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Highlander, this Platinum trim with all-wheel drive. I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, this thing really is the business for midsize 3-row SUV. How much is it? MSRP for the way that this one sits is around $51,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, they have really brought their A game with breaking up what could be a bland door panel. So you have the beige, you have the dark brown. Now, at the top of the door panel, it's nice and soft. I do like that wood trim, that nice gray wood trim. The beige is gonna get dirty, but the good news is that chocolate brown is probably gonna hide a lot of fingerprints and whatnot. Down below, you do have a large pocket down there. You could easily put about 3 Big Macs and a bottle of soda to wash all that Mickey D's right down the pipe. Now, as we go from the door panel to the dash, soft material. This one has the optional JBL sound system. It's 1,200 watts of power. I do like this silver trim, very classy, little bit of chrome trim there. And then this pocket is perfect for your king size 3 Musketeers, your Snickers, whatever you want to drop in there. But the great news is it's all soft touch with the stitch work. We get to the infotainment side of things. You're looking at something that's all new, never been seen in a Highlander. That's a 12.3-inch screen. How often can you say that you got 12 inches? You have 12 inches in this Highlander. You got your 3 separate screens up here for your AC controls. You got your Sirius XM. Obviously, we're rocking out the Prince. We're gonna party like it's 1999, even though it's 2020. And then you have your navigation. The wonderful thing is, obviously touch screen. How do I know that? Because I just touched it and it did something. You also have your buttons conveniently placed. A little bit of gloss black, and I know some people might be saying, well, Joe, is this too high? It's actually at the perfect line of sight, to be honest with you. Now, when we work our way down, you do have heated seats, ventilated seats, which is wonderful, and of course, your dual climate control it's easy to figure out. If you don't want to use the screen, you could use the buttons. You got your 2 AC vents, your start-stop button, and then you have another cubby here. Now, what's nice about this cubby is you could actually remove this guy here, and you could run cords to any cell phones and whatnot, or electronic devices. Or I say, be a millionaire. Get 10 100 grand candy bars and let that be your millionaire spot. Down below, what do we have? We got connectivity, 12 volt, USB, USB, USB. I sound like a broken record, but they got you connected. You have a nice little tray in here for a couple Twinkies, maybe a garage door opener if you have one. We'll close all these doors back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. 2 cup holders, nice. You're gonna have your gray wood trim, which is a nice touch. I like the way they didn't do a bunch of flat black or gloss black, which is really nice. The shifter, it's got the nice leatherette material. The boot, this is gonna control that 8-speed automatic transmission. I wanna go back to the screen because I'm gonna throw this into reverse and I wanna show you your cameras. So you have a 360 and you have your backup camera with trajectory, which is really nice while you're backing up. So they got you covered at Toyota with all that great camera work. Now you keep working your way back on the center console. You got some flat black, 3 drive modes: sport when you're feeling racy, normal, or if you want to be like that guy Norm that lives down the street from your house, and eco mode. So you have that, and then you also have the ability for the all-wheel drive. You could push to stay normal, mud and sand, or rock and dirt. So this does have some technology to allow that off-road system, that all-wheel drive system, to really work well. Center console, it's on the softer side. It's got that Rolodex style drop away lid, and then look at that. That's a wireless charging pad, and look how smart this is. Lift it up, now you got tons of storage space down there for your Cheetos, your Doritos, or any kind of Banditos can go down there. Close it up, look at this seat. Nice and soft. I'm not the biggest fan of beige, that's just me, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It's just not my cup of tea, but I love the perforated centers, heated and ventilated. Of course, you're gonna get full power for both the passenger and the driver. And then this one has a massive panoramic sunroof, which is gonna really make it nice, bright and airy. One last thing I wanna show you is check this out. There's Lori, my beautiful wife. We all know and love her. Watch this, boom. Camera out the back. And like I've told you before, these digital rearview mirrors, that's not the backup camera. It's actually a separate camera. Clear as day. Want to see Lori again? There she is, smiling away. Hey, bear. So really great with the way that they up the level of technology compared to the 2019 and the previous generations. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you what it's like behind the wheel of the Highlander. All right, guys, business time. I like down below you have this nice silver trim and it lights up Highlander. Also at night when you unlock the doors, it shoots Highlander down on the ground for you, which is a nice touch. You got your seat controls and then plenty of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, I got plenty of headroom. Heated steering wheel, which is really wonderful. Nice thickness to it. The Toyota button, it's tasteful. A little bit of gloss black is okay with me. I wish it was silver, to be honest with you. Flat black on the buttons. You are gonna have all that great Toyota Sensing 2.0 technology. So you have emergency braking, forward and backward. You have your lane keep assist. You got that rear seat reminder so you don't leave your kids in the back seat of this Highlander. What's wonderful though is that they did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You have your analog tach, analog speedometer, and then in the center there, you have that digital display, which you could actually scroll through a plethora of information there. And what's really nice, you can see how the all-wheel drive is playing out. There's your radio controls, a little bit of compass action, even an eco indicator. Also, this particular one has a head-up display. Nice large head-up display with a tachometer, your speedometer, and it tells you what speed the limit is for that area that you're driving. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the mid-row and see how your passengers are gonna like this new Highlander. All right, guys, mid-row time, one of the most important areas of a 3-row SUV, and they really have gone through some big changes with this Highlander. Because remember, the exterior is a little bit larger, that means the interior gets to be larger as well. Now the backs of the seats have that nice leather material all the way around. You got a nice large pocket. You can put your toothbrush, your dental floss, your back scratcher, maybe a washcloth if you're gonna be staying a long time in this Highlander. We come across from the back of the seat, you got a nice little command center. Now you have heated seats, but no ventilated seats, and that's a zonk. Other competitors have the ventilated seats, but you do have your heated seats, AC controls, and then look, down below you got a home power source and 2 USBs. So that's very smart that they took care of you there. On my side, you're also gonna have another pocket, which is nice. And then the seats are actually really, really comfortable. They recline, which is great, but they also, of course, are going to slide, which you have to pull over here, and they have a nice slide feature. I guess my only other zonk are the armrests. Little bit on the thin side. I wish that they would just go a little bit larger, but the great news is, it's hard for you to see, but you actually have a nice little party tray here. 2 cup holders and a place for some nachos, maybe some cheese where you could dip the nachos in, but Lori's gonna try to show you that area that I was telling you about. There's your 2 cup holders and there's your nacho tray. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that one place that is the toughest to succeed in, that third row, and see how usable it is in the Highlander. All right, guys, third row time, the most important. Competition's fierce. Let's see how this Highlander stacks up. Now, to get into the back, you just pull, and then this whole seat and everything is gonna fold forward, which is great. They gave you plenty of plastic down below so kids can put their feet, or whoever's going back there, kids, adults, the dog, a cat, a frog, I don't know. They have plenty of real estate here that's plastic so they don't rip up the nice carpet. And what you're gonna have to do is you're just gonna have to say a prayer and climb in. So we'll climb on in, and I'm gonna go all the way across here just to show you. Now, here's the zonk, the challenge here is that look at how high my knees are. Me being 6 feet tall, this would not be a place where I wanna stay a very, very long period of time. If I was, say, Joe Rady at 6 years old, this would be great. It'd be like a little clubhouse back here, but Joe Rady, who's a little older than 6, that's taller, my knees are a little high, but just to prove a point, the seat, I did not move forward, and I'm not at least touching the back of the seat with my knees, and this seat could go forward. Slip this person a $10 bill, they'll move forward for you, I promise you. You do have AC all the way across back here, which is great. So you have your AC, and then of course the AC for the people in the middle. 2 cup holders, but the other zonk, besides my knees being in my mouth, there's no USB back here. So think about it. You're on a long family trip, and one of your kids, their devices die, they're gonna be miserable. And then that means they're gonna make your life miserable. So it would be nice to have a USB back here. I know there's a bunch on the floor, but hey, I didn't bring my extension cord, so I guess I'm out of luck. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the cargo area and see how much space we have in the Highlander. All right, guys, the most important part of any SUV on the Platinum trim, you don't have to do your own lifting. You push the button, electric assist. It's on the medium to quicker side of things. With the third row up, you could see the amount of space that we have there. Now, the good news is, of course, those seats will fold down, but if you need to have the seats up and you want to know what the actual hard number is, that's 16 cubic feet of space. You fold down the third row and the second row, you now have almost 90 cubic feet of space. You got your JBL sound subwoofer back here, really shake the back of the Highlander. And then what's also nice is that if you need to pack up the snacks, they got you covered. Look at that. Wonderful area underneath that cargo. We could just line up the rows of Twinkies, Ding Dongs, and every other snack that your kids could crave. Put it back there. Now, when it comes time to putting the seats down, it seems everybody's got their own recipe. The way Toyota does it is real simple. You just pull up and push. Pull up and push. And the nice thing is, look how flat that is. Of course, that second row will then fold down, and that will give you your almost 90 cubic feet of space. And when it's time to get the seats to be used, you just pull. That makes life so much easier than having to wait for an electric motor that you're pushing the button to get that seat up. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the best part of any Rady's Rise review. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Highlander Platinum for a spin. Guys, we're leaving our undisclosed location. We're in the 2020 Toyota Highlander Platinum trim with all-wheel drive. Right away, I really love the ride quality in this Highlander. Super smooth, super comfortable, especially the seats. The seats are very supportive, but they don't feel like you're sitting on a lazy boy. You don't want that feeling when you're driving. You want to feel comfy, but you also want that support as well. And this thing really cradles your body nicely, especially with the power adjustments. You could really get it to fit your body exactly the way that you want. Visibility out the front is nice. With that U-shaped indentation that I pointed out earlier, it really gives it a great view out over the hood. And all of the pieces of glass in here, your side windows, your mirrors, everything's a great size to just give you overall good visibility, but it's also gonna allow you to feel comfortable as you're driving this SUV, very confident. And that's the nice thing is when you're behind the wheel, it doesn't feel like a mid-size SUV. It actually feels like it's much smaller in a good way. You have the maximum room inside, but you're not driving around a school bus, which is nice. You have your 12.3-inch infotainment system screen. There is a bit of glare on it, just something to be aware of. Not only on the gloss black, but on the screen itself. But I do like the very large navigation portion. Very, very capable, and it has all the features that you could ever want. Your AC's easy to get to. The ventilated seats, heated seats. You got your head-up display, and even sitting here, just super, super quiet as well. The interior, they did a great job with sound deadening to really quiet up the interior. But let's go ahead and get on throttle. That 8-speed drops down. The all-wheel drive system goes from just front-wheel drive setup to setting power to the back, which is exactly what you want it to do. So the way that the all-wheel drive system works in this Highlander is that it's predominantly front-wheel drive. But when you get on throttle or when you start to lose traction, that's when it sends power to the rear wheels. But back on throttle once again. Shifts are smooth on the quicker side, and definitely you'll be able to get out of your own way in this Highlander. We've been in some other midsize SUVs that have been a little bit more on the slower side. This is right there in that sweet spot. Not the fastest, but definitely not the slowest either. Everywhere you're touching, the materials are really wonderful, especially on the tops of the door panels. It's on the softer side, and definitely the armrest is very, very nice. And I love the way that they have the wireless charging pad inside the center console. So your phone's sort of like out of sight, out of mind, but it is being charged as well. Or if you don't want to wirelessly charge it, you can plug it in, use your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, whatever device that you're currently using. But making a right-hand turn, nice balanced chassis, super smooth. I mean, having the naturally aspirated engine, that torque curve is very, very smooth, very, very linear, which is great as well. And having the panoramic sunroof is a nice extra touch, especially for the passengers in the back seat. I think it really allows to have that nice open, airy feel in here, which is great when you're driving with the fam. You know, when you got this thing loaded up with the football team, it's nice to have that extra airy feeling for them back there too, not just for you. All right, guys, I wanted to point out, like on this road here, being just 2 lanes, especially with some construction going on, it's easy to drive. You don't feel like you're going out of your lane. I'm gonna drive over some of this ripped up area on purpose. It soaks it right up, like a big old sponge, like a ShamWow. And that's what you want. You don't want to feel like you're driving a truck, because you're not. You're driving a nice crossover SUV, and you have that full 3-row capability. All right, guys, once again, let's see how she handles. Really smooth, very balanced. Obviously, this isn't a corner carver, but you're still gonna be planted to the ground with that all-wheel drive system, and that's what's wonderful about it as well. I'll go through this little wiggle waggle here, and you can see just how we're nice and planted. No drama from this Highlander, and definitely no drama from your baby's mama. So definitely overall very impressed with what they have done with this Highlander, with the new generation. Hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what this vehicle is about. We're gonna get back to our undisclosed location and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day. with this Toyota Highlander at our new undisclosed location. We keep adding them to the list. I definitely got to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Corey and Zach with Toyota for getting us access to this fully loaded Highlander Platinum. Is this the ultimate three-row midsize SUV? I think Toyota has done some big upgrades, some big changes, and definitely one of those SUVs that you need to get behind the wheel and bring your whole family and maybe the neighbor's family to jump into to really appreciate what Toyota has done here with the technology, with the interior space, and definitely with the exterior, especially in this lunar dust color that really sets it apart. But if it's vehicles like these three-row midsize SUVs that you want to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to my wonderful, beautiful wife, Lori, working that camera, sweating her butt off in this hot Florida sun. And why is she doing that? Not for me, it's for you guys. So thank you, Lori, for all that you do for all of us. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.